Hello, Sanford. You are listening to Sanford Sports Radio. I am Jonathan West, and this is the Howler, as now your number 18 ranked Sanford Coyotes will head to Central Michigan to take on the Chippewas later this week. But of course, you know the drill. Before we start talking about that game, let's talk about the recruiting trail. As the fight continues for Samuel Wyatt, Arkansas and Sanford battle it out. Once again, that continues. But bigger news, Tyrone Justice had a phenomenal visit and may be close to committing from what I've heard. On some other news, Carlos Hunter, the center, not looking like he's budging much on his want to go to Houston. Although Adam Gillette out of Zanesville, Ohio, looking more the way of Sanford. Kevin Collier looking highly towards Sanford, the linebacker out of Florida. Jeffrey Little, the other linebacker out of Florida, out of Tampa, he's also looking Sanford's way currently. Same thing with athlete Rob Cruz. And in big news, Dwayne Jones-Carter, the running back out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, has suddenly taken a huge interest in the Coyotes. This is a shock. A big shock there. We do have a couple of commits, though. John Foster and Mike Carrington, both offensive linemen, have decided to commit to Sanford. This is a big, big thing. The Coyotes needed offensive line depth. They've been working to get offensive linemen this year to come to Sanford. Well, they just got two of them, and both men are quite good. Now, they could use a year to really polish up, and I think they could become exceptional offensive linemen. I think they'll get that. But they needed this depth desperately. Now on to the MAC Players of the Week. We've got linebacker Brandon Cobbs for a pick and 5 tackles along with an assist. And Quentin Maxwell, of course, of Ohio, had a huge day. The conference standings, they don't look much different. However, Toledo has taken a lead in front of Northern Illinois. Now it's Sanford and Toledo on top, nearly tied, as Western Michigan and Northern Illinois are second in the running for both of those positions. Central Michigan, though, stands at number 5, so that ought to be an interesting situation with the game coming up this week. And Sanford and Central Michigan, they've had a little back and forth through the past couple of years, so it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out come this weekend. We'll have some more news. We'll touch on, of course, that game later on in the show. Let's go over to the top 25 polls, as once again, not a ton of changes. There have been a couple of small moves. Texas has moved up to number 6. West Virginia up to number 7, Minnesota up to number 8, and then Florida State and Michigan have both moved up a bit, both by 2. Florida State to 9 and Michigan to 10. So your top 10 and the top 25, there's been a tiny bit of a shakeup. Nothing much. Of course, the big move we care about is number 20 to number 18. Sanford College has moved up 2 spots. Once again, I will say it, I think they can be a top 10 team by the end of the season. As long as they stay on this winning streak, they're looking for win number 7 this weekend against Central Michigan. They can get that. I mean, there's no reason they're not at 15 next week. They're at 15 next week, they might be at 10 the week after. They've only got 1 loss. There are teams in front of them that have 3 losses. Auburn, one of the teams that Sanford upset earlier in the season, in front of them in the polls. Argued to be made, they should be ahead of them. Just saying. There are arguments to be made. Sanford should be a lot higher than they are. We won't go into that. I'm not in charge of the polls. I'm just here to talk to you folks about it here on the radio. Let's talk, though, about something I can stay pretty solid on, and that is the MAC schedule this week. Sanford heads to Central Michigan. Western Michigan heads to Northern Illinois. That ought to be an interesting one. Northwestern heads to Ohio. So Ohio's in for a tough one. Ball State at Toledo, Eastern Michigan at Miami of Ohio, Bowling Green at Buffalo, and Kent State at Akron. Now let's talk about the only game that matters to us Sanford faithful. It's the Coyotes taking on the Chippewas. The Chippewas will be without their center, though, Cox, and that's going to be a loss on that offensive line. That's the guy that's got to deal with Big Joe Irvin. So Irvin's already got 8 sacks on the year. Can he get a new top for his career? That would be absolutely phenomenal. To see Big Joe get to 10 sacks this year, hey, he might just be able to do it this week. Now, the Chippewas have had a very inconsistent season. Unlike Sanford, who's only lost 1 game, of course, in week 2, and now been on a huge 6-game winning streak. 7-game winning streak. As they look to make this win number 8 in a row. As I said 7 earlier, I thought they had only won 7 in a row. It's actually game number 8 in a row. That is huge for this team. That is enormous for this team. You think of the momentum you get when you're winning that much in a row with solid play from your offense. It hasn't been spectacular all this season. Patrick has been more consistent and still throwing a couple of interceptions, but it's been consistent. The defense needs to play tougher, though, as they go up against Tommy Lazzaro. This quarterback, we know him fairly well. We've seen him twice now. Lazzaro has a solid arm, and he can also run the football, and we're going to more than likely see a lot of that this week. And along with running the football comes Romello Ross. This kid's the deadliest weapon on that whole team. If he gets into open field, he could be gone. He's already got 763 yards rushing, and the year is not even up. If he can put 100 on Sanford, there's a chance he can easily top 1,000. This is a tough guy to bring down, and they're going to have to try their hardest. Josh Elridge, we talked about him last week as he was the player of the week on the defensive side of things. 5.5 sacks, 2 deflections, and a forced fumble. He's also no short on tackles this year. So this is a tough guy on the defense, and with him is, of course, we talk about one every week, middle linebacker Michael Oliver. He's got a pick, 1.5 sacks, and he's even forced a fumble. This defense may be much tougher than a lot of people give them credit for. And this Sanford offense is nothing that great. You got to keep that in mind. But let's talk about one name that should sound very familiar, and that is cornerback Marcus Jones. He's got 3 picks on the year and 10 pass deflections. Jones should sound familiar because the Chippewas won a recruiting battle against the Coyotes to get Marcus Jones. So it's a little bit of a rivalry to see Marcus Jones on that defense this year as a sophomore. That is all the time we've got for this edition of the Howler. It's a little bit short, I understand, but the Coyotes are getting ready for a big matchup against the Chippewas. We're going to be all over that one this weekend. We'll see you folks as the Coyotes head to Michigan this week, as we'll be all over that for sure. You've been listening to Sanford Sports Radio. This has been The Howler. I've been Jonathan West, and we will see you this week. Hello, Sanford. You are listening to Sanford Sports Radio. I am Jonathan West, and we are here at Kelly Short Stadium as the Sanford College Coyotes, now ranked 18th in the nation, face the Central Michigan Chippewas. And this is arguably rivalry number 2, I would say, in the MAC, as these two teams have gone head-to-head for the past couple years, and it has been fun to watch. It all started with a tough matchup that the Chippewas won in Sanford's first year of existence, with Cooper Rush running this offense. Ever since, though, the Coyotes have been a tough team for these Chippewas to handle. So now Sanford's 5-0 in conference, 8-1 overall. Chippewas got a much tougher test in front of them. And Marcus Jones, a man who both teams coveted, went to Central Michigan. He is now a sophomore on that defense in that secondary at cornerback. We'll be looking at him all day long to see how he does against this Sanford offense. I'm thinking they want to teach him a little lesson about what it is to not have been a Coyote. As we get ready for play here, Pat Jackson ready to return this one as it's coming his way, and he's going to have an opportunity. Good blocks laid out in front of him. He's cut to the outside past the 40, 45, up past the 50, down and around the 52. That is a 44-yard return, and they're already in Chippewa territory. First and 10 in the I form. Patrick going to go play action early. He'll dump it off to Antoine Bradford, and hey, that's a great start for this offense. An 8-yard reception for Bradford as they are already sitting at 2nd and 2. They're nearing Jackson Stone's field goal range already as that handoff to Claude Fleming's going to take them for a gain of 3 and enough for the first. I'd give him maybe 10 more yards and it should be a sure thing for Stone. And look at this, a new little wrinkle, the Wildcat with Tyrese Baker in at quarterback, and that's a 14-yard connection to Duron Costello. Well, looks like Coach Wolf added a new wrinkle into the playbook as Claude Fleming takes this handoff for a gain of 2. I'm still a little caught off guard from it. 2nd and 8 now out of the shotgun. Patrick looks to throw. He'll connect with Williams, and Josh Williams gets a connection early this time. 11-yard gain, and they are inside the 10. Baker back out there for the Wildcat, and he'll take off with the football. It's a gain of 4 for Baker. Of course, no relation to Joe Baker, who of course came here during recruiting last season. As a 1-yard rush here for Tanner Patrick on this one. They're looking at 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. Man in motion was Bradford. Handoff goes to Fleming, and he is down at the 1. The offense still out on the field. Patrick gonna rush for it, up and over, touchdown Sanford. And they are on the board early and they draw first blood. They love that quarterback sneak because Patrick's not afraid to go up and over. He'll take the hit, and he took one there. 1st and 10 now for Central Michigan. Chippewas look to answer as the handoff goes to the fullback Mark Johnson to start things off. A gain of 5 there for Central Michigan. 2nd and 5. They're in that same formation as Lazaro pitches it out to Gwilly. And Gwilly gets enough for the first, a 6-yard gain. The Chippewas have a deadly set of running backs, and we'll see how deadly they exactly can be here today. 1st and 10 under center is Lazaro. Gwilly the man in motion, and he pitches it off to him again. He's got room, and he fights for a gain of 9. As Gwilly looks like he's going to be the more power back of the two. 2nd and 1 under center. Romello Ross the man in motion. He's going to take the pitch this time. It's going to be another 1st down, and he even fights for some extra yardage. Gain of 11 there. They'll go back to the option. This time Lazaro keeps it. He's got room up past the 20, and that is going to be a 28-yard run. A big gain there for Lazaro, and this ground game of the Chippewas is working to perfection. This defense has to sharpen up real quick if they want a chance to really fight back. Lazaro tries the option again. This time it ain't working out. That was Lewis McMahon. I talked about it last week. He has been having a very, very good season here as of late. 2nd and 12 under center Lazaro. They'll go option again. Pitch goes out to Gwilly. But look who was on top of it. That was Keon Cutler and Otis Griffin on that one. 3rd and 13. They got a throw. Lazaro going through the air. He connects with Sabal, and that's going to be a 6-yard gain, or I'm sorry, a 9-yard gain. They'll settle for the field goal, and it is just in the uprights. That's going to mean it's 7-3 here as a minute remains in the first quarter. Hand off here on 1st down. It's actually an option by Tanner Patrick. That's going to be enough for the 1st down as he has really been running well as of late, and it's been fun to watch. Hopefully he can keep this success on the ground up. Patrick looks to roll out. He's going to throw as he rolls out. Tyrone Jennings able to get the reception there. He tried to set his feet to reset, but he's going to lose 2 yards on that one. That was just a poor play overall, I think. If his momentum hadn't been taking him towards the sideline, I think that play turns into something, but Jennings had to reset himself. They're back to the Wildcat again, and this time it's off to Fleming, and Fleming can't get anything. He'll lose 4, as that takes us to the end of the first quarter. It was a rough go there at the end of it, but Sanford is up 7-3 here, the end of the first. Welcome back, everyone, to Sanford Sports Radio. It is the beginning of the second quarter of play, as there's a connection to Tremaine Dingle with a nice spin move added to it. A 17-yard gain as Sanford looks to act fast here. It's 7-3, Sanford on top of the Chippewas early. 1st and 10 here, still in the shotgun. Patrick hands off to Tyrone Jennings on the draw, and he goes nowhere. A loss of 1 as he was taken down real quick by Mike Dana. 2nd and 11, the handoff goes to Claude Fleming, and that'll be a gain of 5. It's a more manageable 3rd, but it is very close to 3rd and long territory. Patrick under center in the I form, and pressure was coming in quick, and he just gets the ball out of his hand. That is the first incompletion of the day for Patrick, and pressure was coming. 1st and 10 here now for Lazaro and company. The pitch goes out to Gwilly again. Tries to fight but can't fight through Pat Riley. It's going to be only a gain of 2. 2nd and 8. Lazaro hands off to Johnson. I'm a little taken aback at that one. I thought he'd keep it again. It will be a gain of 4. So that'll bring up 3rd and manageable. 3rd and 4 now. Man in motion, I believe, was Ross, as that is a good deflection there. As the ball was the intended target, but Jordan all over it. 1st and 10 now back on the offensive side for Sanford as Tremaine Dingle with another catch on the out route. That's going to be an 11-yard gain and another 1st down Sanford. As Patrick goes back to the ground game, giving it to Fleming. He can't find a lot of room once again. It's only going to be a 2-yard gain. It's been very slow going for the running backs. Lorenzo Newman, the man in motion on 2nd and 8. They'll go play action, and wide open Costello. 19 yards and another big 1st down. The big tight end, Ron Costello, arguably the most trustworthy target on the field, with another big play on the year. 1st and 10, Patrick looks to go up the gut to Fleming, but Fleming once again, no room to run. This defense has kept him in check. 2nd and 8 as Patrick goes play action again, and that's directly into the hands of Oliver. Are we going to see an interception from the linebackers each time? As Patrick throws that, I believe his intended target was Costello, but he was very well covered. Oliver just put his hands up and was able to grab it. First and 10, Lazaro pitches it out to Romello Ross, and that's going to be a gain of 11. First down, Chippewas on that one. First and 10 looks like they're going play action. I was expecting option, and that left Ross wide open. I think the whole defense was expecting an option. 25 yards on that play action as Ross had no one around him for a good maybe 5 to 10 yards. He was brought down finally by, I believe, Pat Riley. First and 10 here once again. He'll go back to the option here. Lyles this time on the carry, and that will be enough for 7. Second and 3, Gwilly back in the ball game as Lazaro takes off. He's going through defenders, and that's going to be a 14-yard run, enough for the first down. The Chippewas finding places to run. They're finding ways to move the offense as Lazaro continues to run over this defense. A gain of 10 and nearly enough for the first down. Under center, Lazaro once again. Man in motion is Ross. It's an option again, and Lazaro finds more than enough for the first. They'll give him 7. They are inside the red zone. The Chippewas are inside the red zone here today. As Lazaro takes off on another option, pitches it off to Romello Ross. He's brought down after a gain of 4. That's Keon Cutler. Second and 6. Lazaro hands off to Johnson, and he's got room. He fights for the first down. Gain of 9 by the fullback. First and goal. They hand off to Johnson again, and he goes into the end zone. Really wasn't contested at all. Touchdown Central Michigan as the Chippewas take over for the first time this game. Has Patrick Jackson with a chance to return here. He's got room up past the 40, past the 50, down and around the 40-yard line, 51 yards. Another huge return by Pat Jackson. First and 10 with a minute and a half remaining. The throw goes out to Tyrone Jennings here. That's going to be a gain of 7. Can Sanford put a drive together here to put points on the board before half's the question? Second and 3. Patrick goes to the screen to Fleming. He's got blocks in front. That's past the 20. A nice spin move trying to get some room. Can't get all of it. That's down and around the 15. A gain of 19 on that play. That is the exact type of play you want if you're looking for a screen like that. And good blocking by the line, as that's really what got Fleming free. First and 10, Bradford, the man in motion. They'll go play action to the end zone. That's Costello. He wasn't crossing the plane. Keep that in mind. 13-yard gain, and he'll be down and around the 1. Handoff goes to Fleming out of the Wildcat, and he gains nothing. They will stay at the line. Second and goal. Patrick hands off to Fleming, blocks in front, touchdown Sanford, and that is a lead for the Coyotes. They'll take back their lead with 26 seconds remaining, and that was a great drive to go downfield. They had great field position too to start. Lazaro looking for the option but can't get it. I believe it might actually have been a pass, but Joe Irvin just set a new career high in sacks for himself. That's number 9 on the season. And that will take us to halftime, folks. 14-10, Sanford on top. We'll be back with more after this. Welcome back to Sanford Sports Radio, folks. It's the beginning of the second half. Central Michigan with the football in tow as Lazaro can't go nowhere. Guess who it is? Deshaun Hollis, folks. He's been stuffing the run like a champ this year. And that is just another absolute great play on a rushing quarterback. 2nd and 12. Lazaro looks to take off again. He's slowed down. Joe Irvin was one of the men in there to try and slow him down. Only a gain of 2. So he could have gotten a lot more if those linemen didn't get to him. 3rd and 10. Lazaro gets brought down. That's Lewis McMahon. Can you believe that? The speed of McMahon from his corner spot to come down on the corner blitz. Romello Ross, when he turned around, was too late. He was all ready to Lazaro. What a play by McMahon. 4th and 16. A punt. And look at this field position, folks, if you're watching on your TVs at home. Great field position at the 34. 1st and 10 here now. As out of the out of the pistol, it's Claude Fleming for a 5-yard gain. They're not looking for a lot right now. They just need them to keep moving the offense. 2nd and 5. Handoff goes to Tyrone Jennings. He's got room to run. He's caught from behind, though. An 11-yard gain, and that'll be more than enough for this offense. Another new set of downs, and they will stay in the full house. Patrick takes the snap, looks to throw, connects with Rob Thomas, and he is down at the 1. That is a 16-yard gain. Another good play by Tanner Patrick. Connecting with his intended target, and Rob Thomas has played very well over these past couple weeks. Pitch goes out to Fleming with great blocks in front. It is a 1-yard touchdown again. That's 2 on the day for Fleming. And now it's a 2-possession lead for your Sanford College Coyotes, as this team looks like they are running full throttle. 1st and 10, Romello Ross on the carry, and that's going to be a gain of 4 for the Chippewas. 2nd and 6 in the shotgun formation. Lazaro taking off here on another option. He's going to gain 4 on that. That's going to set up 3rd and 2 now. Very manageable for the Chippewas here. They have a chance to make a big play happen. Under center is Lazaro. He's got Ross coming in motion. Handoff goes to Johnson, the fullback, and he is stuffed. That is Moss that got to him. 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Fleming as Sanford takes over. 6-yard gain. He's starting to see a little more room to run here now. 2nd and 4, they'll keep it on the ground to Fleming, and look at the green in front of him. He's up past the 40, and that's exactly what you want to see from Fleming. 20-yard rush there. That now puts him at a 3.6 per carry average. Pitch goes out now to Fleming. He's got more running room around the outside. It's a gain of 4. That'll just up his average a bit as he's got 51 yards now. 2nd and 6. Handoff goes to Tyrone Jennings out of the shotgun, and he's got another 1st down. Good running by Jennings. A gain of 8 on that one. 1st and 10. They'll go play action. Bread and butter for Patrick as he meets Oliver, as he's able to tip into himself almost. Somehow able to make that catch. I'm not sure exactly how he got that interception. That's number 2 on the day for Michael Oliver. But wait a minute. That looked like it hit the ground to me. No challenge, no review, no nothing. I'm surprised nothing coming in for that one. Lazaro pitches it off to Romello Ross. He's got room to run. It's a 12-yard run here for Central Michigan. They've got under 2 minutes here in the 3rd quarter, and of course the 4th to go here to make a comeback, but this is not going to help. A false start penalty, and the defense is going to relish in that one. 1st and 15 after the false start here for the Chippewas. Lazaro under center. He'll go with the option as Gwilly somehow gets that football. And that is a huge 15-yard carry. Willie with a big first down. As now they set up in the pistol, and Mark Johnson gets the football. That is a no gain for Johnson. I'm as shocked that the fullback was given the football out of the pistol. Lazaro takes off though now. A gain of 3 out of that pistol here. They continue to run the football, and this is no shock to anybody. But the clock has got to start playing a factor. As a throw here to Sabah, he gets this catch. That is a 5-yard gain and sets up 4th and 2. And look at this. Lucas with a throw and Huggins receiving. We saw Sanford pull a fake punt out to end the game last week. Now they get a fake punt pulled out on them, and it's completed against them. Well, it looks like Central Michigan's willing to pull out some tricks as they've got one more play here before the end of the third quarter, and it's a nice check down to Johnson, and to the end zone he goes. It turned from check down to touchdown, as I did not expect Mark Johnson to find room to get that to pay dirt. Nonetheless, it's a Chippewa touchdown. That'll make it a one-possession game here to end the third quarter of play. I'm taking it back here, folks. So that will take us to the end of the third, 21-17. Sanford on top right now, but it's a close one. You're listening to Sanford Sports Radio. Your final quarter of play coming up after this. Welcome back, everyone. It's the final quarter of play here on the Sanford Sports Radio. Tanner Patrick checking down to Fleming. This one, though, not turning into a touchdown like Mark Johnson's did. That's only a gain of 1. 2nd and 9. Patrick under center. Hands off to Fleming. They're trying to kill some clock here, but they're not gaining the yardage. The defense starting to catch fire for the Chippewas. 3rd and 7 after the 2-yard gain by Fleming. Patrick looks to throw, and he hooks up with the wrong color jersey. Jamison with the pick, and this could be the end of things. Patrick has had a down day today. He's just been unlucky with where these throws have landed. 2 to Marcus Oliver, and now 1 to Jamison. 1st and 10 here for Lazaro. Willie has a chance as that goes nowhere, though. Scott Boyd turned around and dragged Lazaro right down in time. Good play by the redshirt freshman. 2nd and 12. They're bringing Pat Riley down looking for a blitz here. They go to the option again, and Lewis McMahon once again shows off that speed. A great tackle to stop Lazaro at the line. 3rd and 12. Lazaro under center, but they jump once again. The Chippewas are having a problem here with these false starts. 3rd and 17. They've got to go for a throw here. Lazaro looks to throw the football. Pressure was coming in as that is caught by Childress. Brandon Childress, 37 yards. What a catch. You gotta give credit where credit is due. A great catch. Pat Riley was looking to play the ball, but absolutely phenomenal by Childress, and it looks like Lazaro is down for Central Michigan. They're in trouble now. 1st and 1. Poland on the run, and Poland gets the touchdown. A 1-yard strike from Poland on the ground. It's a Chippewa touchdown. They lead by 3. Back to the Wildcat goes Sanford, and it looks like Tyrese Baker's been figured out. He just gets that ball out of his hands. As there's a shot to Williams. Finally, he's involved with this offense again. A 16-yard reception. His 2nd catch of the ball game. And Patrick has not had a good day overall. 1st and 10 out of the pistol. They'll go to the ground. Patrick on the run again. He tries a spin. I believe he caught one man off guard. That's a 12-yard run and enough for the first. The offense is driving and this clock is still ticking. Fleming takes another handoff. It's going to be a gain of 6 out of the shotgun this time. 2nd and 4, under center is Patrick. Handoff goes to Jennings. He's got room around the edge. That's enough for the first gain of 8. They're going to keep running this clock. 4 minutes remain here in the ball game. 1st and 10, Patrick hands off to Jennings. Nice gain there on first, 6 yards, and that already sets up a manageable 3rd and 4. I'm sorry, 2nd and 4 as they are in the pistol formation. Tanner Patrick taking all the time in the world off this play clock. Handoff goes to Fleming and he is brought down. A gain of 1. 3rd and 3, pistol formation. Handoff goes to Jennings. Good blocks in front. 1st down, gain of 10, and they are in the red zone. 2 minutes remain. Full house formation. Patrick takes the snap, swings it out to Jennings. He avoids one tackler. It's a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5, a minute and a half remains. We're cutting it close, folks. Patrick looks to throw. Time running out, and he's brought down. An 11-yard sack that'll bring up 3rd and 16. They need a play. After this sack, they need a play that's going to get them close or into the end zone. They need 16 yards for a 1st down here on 3rd down. Patrick sets up the screen for Fleming. He's got blocks to the outside. 10-5, touchdown, Sanford as Fleming dives in. 22-yard strike, and this team just took the lead with 44 remaining. They gotta play defense. Pull in to throw. Poen hits his target, Sabah, 9-yard gain, a timeout here for Chippewas. 2nd and 1. Under center is Poen. He's gonna take a shot. No, he's gonna take off. He's caught quickly, continues to run, but brought down for a gain of 8. 1st and 10 after the 2nd timeout. Poen looks to throw. The defense chance or a go. That's Keon Cutler with the pick. He's got room to run though. Block in front. He's got the outside 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. No one catches him. Touchdown, Cutler. This game is sealed. The Chippewas can try, but it's game over after that. Cutler just put the dagger in the Chippewas. 1st and 10, Poen, and this is broken down for Central Michigan. A false start this late in the game. 1st and 15, it can't get much worse for Central Michigan at this point. Poen going deep for Childress. He grabs it. Maybe they're not out of the water yet. That is a big play for Childress. His 2nd deep ball of the day, keeps 1 foot in as Gibson just loses sight of it. 1st and 10, 14 seconds. Poen to throw. He just gets the ball out as he takes a big shot. 2nd and 10 here. Poen under center. He'll drop back, looks to run. Pressure was caused, but he's able to get rid of it. A lot of pressure was coming. I'm losing my voice here, folks. 3rd and 10. Poen looks to throw. Deep downfield, and that one's just batted away. Nearly intercepted by Jordan. He's got 3 seconds. Last play of the ball game. Poen to the end zone. And this one's taken away. Dustin Jordan, number 4 on the year. As Jordan with room, he wants it all the way back, but he won't get it. Nonetheless, it's game over, folks. Sanford takes it. A phenomenal final 2 minutes. Claude Fleming, your player of the game, over 100 total yards from scrimmage, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 1 through the air. What a final 2 minutes to this ball game. Sanford seems to have that fire inside of them when it gets to late game and they're down. They have found something inside of them that will not allow them to lose. First, it was the screen score that, came out of nowhere for Claude Fleming to take the lead. And Keon Cutler, the dagger with the pick 6. It's just the offense and defense meshing together at the perfect time. Oh man, was that lovely to watch. Your final once again here from Central Michigan, 35-24. Your Coyotes once again take another victory. It's 8 total wins on this streak. We'll see you next week, folks, for more MAC conference play here as Sanford tries to continue this streak. Can they get it to 9? We will see you folks next week.